Hey everybody, it's Thomas from the Booze and BJJ podcast. I still don't know where I am. Half the time, I don't even remember my own name. I just messed that sentence up. Anyways, we have a special guest here today. I'm interviewing my good friend, Katrina. Actually, you have a nickname, don't you?
Danger.
And how did you get that? Let's start with that.
I kind of made it up because when I first started training, whenever like I caught somebody clean or like maybe evaded a strike or something, I would say Danger Will Robinson, from the show.
Yeah.
And so as I continued and started competing and kind of got better, I just shortened it to Danger because it's kind of the truth, kind of.
You know what? You know what I've been doing the last couple of months?
What?
I have these sneaky submissions that I kind of like play around with. They're super low percentage, but it always freaks people out. So you know that game, that cartoon Yu-Gi-Oh?
Uh,
I think it was Yu-Gi-Oh where he goes, "You've triggered my trap card." I've been saying
it
that.
probably is Yu-Gi-Oh.
Yeah, I've been saying that recently, and guys get like weirded out and like, "What are you talking about?" You know.
They probably don't know what it's from.
Yeah, I know. Like, I definitely have been aging myself recently.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
it's from Yu-Gi-Oh. Is that kind of like Pokemon?
yeah.
No. Uh, but anyways, I know I said I wasn't gonna ask you any random questions, but I ended up this is the first thing I did. My
It's
apologies.
okay.
So go ahead and introduce yourself for everybody.
So I am Katrina Combs, otherwise known as Danger. I am now a professional Muay Thai fighter, working to get back to the ring. That's really it. Well, I mean, my day job, I'm a board certified behavior analyst, mouthful. I work with kids with autism. I love the kids. And yeah, I fight and I work with kids.
That's actually a pretty good combination.
Yeah. Sometimes the kids, have to yoke them up. Not really, not in real life.
I think me and you had a random conversation about my kids' behavior a few
We did.
times. Yeah. So for those who don't know, I actually know Katrina from either myself or her leaving the gym or coming in the gym, and we kind of crisscrossed.
Yeah.
I think I just randomly started talking to you.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it was one of those things where you were like, "Who the heck is this guy, and why is he talking to me?"
Only for a split second. That's the first thought, and then after the conversation goes, it's all good.
Yeah. I just get in the mood after training where I just want to talk to someone,
Yeah.
So, but anyways, let's move on. So, how did you start your journey with Muay Thai?
Coincidentally, I was like really overweight. I was like 240 pounds back in 2009, 10, something like that, 9, something like that. And so I get bored going to the gym, like, and just going to the gym and lifting weights and doing like cardio and stuff. Like, that stuff doesn't keep me focused. It doesn't keep my attention. So I was looking for other means of exercise. And at Sport and Health in Woodbridge, well, it's not there anymore, but there used to be Sport and Health in Woodbridge. And Master Leo Dalla used to have classes in one of the like rec rooms or like, one of the other rooms in Sport and Health. And so I saw the classes one time and I was like, oh man, I need to check that out. And then I saw like under him, he had a group of like Muay Thai fighters or, they were practicing. And so I saw that. And so I actually went to try to ask him, about, what they were doing and everything. And I didn't follow up at that time. And when I was ready to follow up, they were gone. And I was like, they haven't been back to Sport and Health. And so I don't know where they are. And I just happened to see the sign for Premier, it used to be Premier Mixed Martial Arts, Premier Martial Arts on Old Bridge Road. And Master Dalla had actually gotten a location, like a physical location, which was why they were no longer in Sport and Health. And so I went in like right away and was like, oh, I need to figure out how I can do this. Like, what can I do? Because, I've always loved martial arts. I've always loved like combat sports.
Right.
And so, yeah, that's where it started. I started just training out of wanting to get back in shape.
Actually, I think we're very similar there. I don't know if you remember, but I was like almost 45 pounds heavier when I started BJJ. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know that. So we have a commonality.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah. Okay, so what do you enjoy most about Muay Thai?
The team,
Mhm.
to be honest. I mean, I like kicking and punching things, of course, but it's definitely, I wouldn't continue doing it if the group of people that I trained with weren't like didn't fit, like if it wasn't like family. And that's kind of, it's crazy because at Dallas Gym, that's how we were. And then he told me to come um, to Pentagon, and it's the same kind of atmosphere that's fostered. It's like family. It's like you kick and punch each other and you make jokes. Like it's the craziest thing. But it's great.
Yeah, like my favorite, I always tell people my favorite thing about BJJ is just choking and arm barring my friends and talking trash to them at the same time.
Yes,
It it, it,
exactly.
it makes life fun.
It exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
But
agree.
but I feel you on the working out like normally. Like
Hmm.
I tried that for years and it didn't work for me either.
Yeah.
I just couldn't stick with it. So
Yeah, I definitely think it takes a special person to just kind of like, dredge it out. Like you go to the gym day in and day out and you either do the machines or you do free weights or, you get on the cardio machines, different cardio machines. I'm like, okay, I'm bored. And you're in there by yourself.
right.
Yeah.
Well, I couldn't do cardio too much because of my knees. So that was iffy. So I just figured if I just lift a bunch of weights, the pounds will just drop off.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it didn't work that
It
way.
didn't work out that way.
No, I got super huge shoulders, like my neck disappeared. Like my traps were like up like in level with my jaw. And that was a little weird. But yeah, I didn't lose weight, and it didn't start coming off until I started at Pentagon with
Yeah.
Sugi and them. But yeah, when did you realize you wanted to be a Muay Thai fighter? Like, was there like an aha moment? Was there like a specific point?
Yeah, I guess it was kind of born out of a little bit of cockiness, just a tad. Because when I first started training Muay Thai, like my coach at the time at Dallas was, he was like, man, you should fight. And I was like, nobody's punching me in my face. No, no, thank you. And so it was like, I really just want to train, you know what I'm saying? So I was like, nah. But the guys had a competition. And so I went to the competition, and it was a tournament. So it wasn't just guys fighting, it was a bunch of people fighting, girls fighting, guys fighting, different ages, all that good stuff. And I saw some of the girls fighting, and I was like, I can do that. And that's just kind of where it started. So from that event, from watching that event, I told my coach, I was like, yeah, I want to fight. And so he was like, let's go.
That's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I can just tell by talking with you, like you really enjoy every aspect of everything that you're bringing up.
Yeah.
That's actually pretty cool.
Mhm.
It's very refreshing because sometimes you talk to someone and they're like, yeah, I like doing this, and they have like a
Oh, like kind of flat, like affect.
yeah, like
Yeah.
it's like, are you just saying that, or do you actually
Do
enjoy
you
what
mean
you're
that?
doing? Yeah, it's like, do
Right.
you mean that? Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So could you walk us through the process of how you prepare for your fights? Like, is there a set process you always follow, or do you have like a fluid process, I guess you could say?
So it kind of depends. So normally I would in that last week. Really, the last week is where the like people's set processes kind of happen, as in the last week.
Right.
because that's the cut week. That's when you have to kind of whittle yourself down to make the weight that you have signed up to fight at. Unless you're like heavyweight, and a lot of times those guys don't have to cut weight. But for females, there are no heavyweights, and we always have to cut weight mostly. So anyways, the last week is like water loading. So you're drinking a lot of water, eating very little. It's like, I usually eat like chicken and spinach, egg whites, things that I know will agree with my body, and not kind of upset the balance. Because you don't want to like create issues like bloating or anything like that. So really the last week is where I kind of like cut myself off from work a little bit. Like I work, but like Wednesday, when I really start cutting, like Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, I usually take off. I take off work. I get massages. I get my feet done. I actually take the time to take care of myself in that last week, which is funny because I always think a lot of people hate cut week. A lot of fighters are like, oh man, they dread cut week. I actually like it. It's kind of weird because one, there's a sense of accomplishment in the fact that I was able to have the discipline to, have this menu or whatever on this day, follow it through. Wednesday or Thursday, no food after a certain time. Thursday, no water after a certain time, and get up in the morning on Friday and work out to sweat if I need to lose the weight. And then once you hit the scale and the numbers are good and it's time to go eat, it's like a party. Like that, it feels good. You know what I mean? Like, so I'm probably weird, but I actually like cut week. But that's mainly my process, is that last week of actually taking care of myself.
Good. That's the first time I've heard someone actually say they enjoyed cutting weight.
I know.
Yeah. I'm actually trying to cut weight a little bit right now, just because I want to stay under 200.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to be 201. I don't want to be 202. I want to be 200 or less.
Yeah.
That's where I'm comfortable. But, so, do you have a favorite training partner?
Yeah, kind of. It's two people. So Eric, just because his fighting style is different, so it's a challenge. Like, it's always a challenge. He's not like strict Muay Thai. I think it's like Sanda that he used to compete in. He's competed in boxing. So his style is different. Like the way he stands, the way he moves is different. So it's always a challenge. And Nazar. So Nazar is an absolute monster. And I wish that he was still fighting. Plug. I'm putting the plug in for the time being. But I'm putting that plug because I'm putting it into the atmosphere because he's awesome.
Yeah, when he starts fighting, I think I'll hide because I don't want to be his no-gi dummy.
Yeah, he is awesome. He is awesome. And his hands, I like training with him because his boxing and his movement, like his footwork and his hands, it's like I aspire, like that's what it makes me better. Like sparring with him makes me better. I get caught with something and I'm immediately trying to figure out, okay, what did I do wrong and what did he do right? Like, where was he that he was able to actually like hit me, like he was able to catch me and I couldn't return. There was nothing I could do. So yeah, it's like, I think those two are my favorites. I love everybody, but I think those two challenge me the most.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
You're talking about Eric Liu?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's done Thonda and some other things. I didn't think about that. I didn't think about that because I know with BJJ, if you get somebody who has a different grappling background, like it definitely influences their style. So it never dawned upon me it would be the same thing with Muay Thai.
Oh yeah, people with like Taekwondo and like other forms of karate backgrounds, the transition to Muay Thai sometimes is difficult because the stances are different.
Right.
The stances and the mechanics are different. So it makes it more challenging. Challenging for them, and depending on how good they are, are in what they, were previously training in, it could be more challenging for, us too.
Right.
Yeah.
So I did have a slight background in Ishin Ryu. Like I did that back when in my teenage, early 20s.
Yeah.
And I did that simultaneously with judo. So at open mat, like maybe before COVID, like I'd be at Pentagon and somebody would say, "Hey, I got an extra set of gloves. You wanna throw hands?"
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, you're gonna annihilate me. But it was interesting to see how 20-year-old, oh God, I'm aging myself, like Ishin Ryu, like handwork
Yeah.
compared to just like Muay Thai handwork and kicking and boxing.
Yeah.
Like as I think about it, it was a very interesting dynamic.
Yeah.
I was rusty, I was stiff, but I still
You
landed some
still,
shots.
yeah, riding a bike, you still know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And actually,
Yeah.
come to think about it, yeah, back then we held mats, not mats, but mitts and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. Gosh,
Good stuff. Step on back over into in the Muay Thai world.
if my knees were better, I definitely would. That the entire 6 years I've been at Pentagon, that's been the deciding factor, because it's either do Muay Thai and not be able to do groundwork because
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
it's one or the other.
Yeah.
Well, unfortunately, I'm on the other side of the aisle.
It's okay. I hop over there. I tip my toes in every once in a while. Well, I'll do it more after this, tournament coming up, but
right.
That's yeah.
Well, we're almost at the half-hour mark. So if you have a few more minutes, perhaps
Okay.
you want to talk about that? Like dipping your toe into BJJ?
Sure. Yeah. I had the pleasure of seeing the team compete. When was that? When did they go up to Maryland? 2 weekends ago for the submission only.
Yeah, I think it was.
Event. Yeah. And I was like, oh man, that looks super cool. Exhausting now, because the submission only, like once they went into that, like what was it, overtime or sudden death or something, they were calling it different things.
Yeah.
That went on for a long time, and I was like, that's crazy, like that's insane. But yeah, I definitely I trained, I did jiu-jitsu for a little bit at Master Dollars, but I fractured my toe. And so after fracturing my toe, I kind of put it, to the side because I wanted to compete in Muay Thai. So yeah, but then I got back in there a couple times at Pentagon, and again only stopped now because we had to ramp up training for this tournament coming up.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So like combined time in, how long would you say you probably trained BJJ?
4 months, maybe 5 months. Yeah.
And going back to Muay Thai, how long have you trained Muay Thai?
11 years. Yeah. I started in 2010, but then in getting ready for my first fight, one of the guys kicked me in my knee and tore my meniscus. And so then I had to have surgery on my knee. Right. And that put me out for like 6 months. And then I hopped back in.
And that's like a double black belt in some other martial arts.
Really? Oh, hey, hold on. Oh, shoot.
I'll pause it.
Can you pause it?
Yeah. But yeah, so like in some other martial arts, like you can get a black belt in like 5 years, 6 years. So if you've been doing Muay Thai for 11, that's like a
double black belt. Oh, shoot. Yeah. It's crazy though, because I feel like you're always learning. So I don't, it's funny. Somebody asked me the other day, so like, what do we call you? Do we call you like master or whatever? I was like, no, please don't do that. Please just coach. Coach is fine. We're good to go.
So I had that conversation with a buddy of mine, and he's like, so Tom, if I end up teaching a class, are you going to call me master? I don't know if I could do that historically speaking.
Oh no! Oh no!
I mean, I was joking around with him, right?
Yeah,
The
yeah,
poor guy thought I was being serious.
yeah,
So his eyes got huge, and
yeah.
I was like, I'm joking, dude. I'm joking. I will call you
Whatever, sir.
Professor Cardinal.
No, maybe not, sir.
Like, how do you
Maybe not, sir, either.
I'll call him sir. That's disrespect,
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what's up. Yeah, so that's a good background. That's a good skill set to have. Like, and I've seen you do
Yeah.
BJJ. Like, you're pretty good for someone who's only like a couple months in. That's why I asked. I thought
Yes.
maybe you were further along, but
Mm.
yeah, if somebody gets past your hands and your feet and they get you on the ground, it's
You
like,
better watch out because those fight or flight skills kick in and there's no more rules.
right. It's like you have lost.
Yeah.
Just take a
Yeah.
nap.
It's
Yeah.
not a good idea.
So yeah, this was a good conversation, Katrina. Like, thank you for allowing me to interview you.
Yeah.
Everybody will have Katrina's like PayPal or Cash App information in the description of the video. So if you'd like to contribute to her training, like that would be a very good place to donate funds. Don't send anything to me, send it directly to her. Yeah, so Katrina, it's been a pleasure. I don't want to keep you too much longer.
Okay.
I hope you dominate in your upcoming fight. Oh, speaking of which, go ahead and tell everybody when your next fight is. I completely forgot about that.
So we're gearing up to fight in Denver, Colorado, and March 10th. It's a tournament, March 10th through the 13th. And it's a world championship qualifier. So it's through the United States Muay Thai Federation, which of course, and IFMA, International. Oh, that's bad. It's IFMA, and I'll figure out what it means. I'm sorry, I should know that. But they're like basically what is it? Olympic, like the Muay Thai is basically on going to be in the Olympics or able to be in the Olympics in 2024. I think it's like probationary or something like that. So anyways, being able to compete in this tournament is kind of a big deal. Big deal. So it's a world championship qualifier. So I win all the way through the tournament, and then I qualify for the world championships, which is in July in Alabama.
Right.
So yeah, the definite goal is to take the whole thing and make a glorious return to the ring, because it's been COVID and surgeries and long road back, but we're almost here. So
Well, I'll just bug you for another interview later on.
yeah,
It's like,
I'd be happy to. This is cool. I like this.
Katrina, did you win? Like, yes, you idiot, I did.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we could do like a before and after.
Yeah, sure. Well,
Yeah.
this is the kind of conversation we have on our show. So
Okay.
yeah, it's lighthearted. We don't get too terribly serious about most things. Usually, most of the time, we're a little bit tipsy. So yeah,
I can't partake right now. I'm on a bland like chicken spinach. Yeah. That the cutting, I gotta get down. I gotta drop this weight. So
oh no, I got you. Like, in fact, alcohol is optional, because last Friday, all of us were so tired and worn out from training, we didn't even want to.
oh yeah.
All right, I don't want to keep you too much longer. Thank you for coming on.
All right.
And,
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, and I'll see you at the gym, and I'll probably bug you to make a guest appearance on our Friday show sooner or later. So
Sounds good to me.
all right, have a good night.
All right. You too. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.